looking at the longest coral reef in the United States right here, 25 miles long. Along the reef, you'll see these rock walls they've built out into the ocean. These are Hawaiian fish ponds, and they've been building these here for over 1,000 years. It's an ingenious way to fish, really. Like building a man-made tide pool out into the reef. Tide comes in, the fish get trapped, and now you don't have to go out in your boat in the ocean to go fishing. You can just fish off the shoreline. People always ask me why the water is so green down here. The water has a lot of sand suspended in it, and the sand is yellow and the water is blue. Yellow and blue make green. So the shallower the water is, the greener it is, and the deeper it is, the darker blue it is. Some manta rays down there. Let's go drop down and take a look at these. In the shallow water below us here, you'll see some dark spots, but as we get closer, you'll see they're actually manta rays. These are probably about 6 or 7 feet across. Evelyn and Dave, you guys see these right down here below us, 10 o'clock? 2 of them right there in the shallow water. Up there on the right. Alright guys, since you were really good sports about rerouting your flight to the west, I'm going to take you over to another island and show you something that's not even really on the tour normally. There's a bonus for you since you guys were cool about that. So we're going to head over to Lanai up here, and I'm going to show you a shipwreck. A pretty big one too. So let me make a couple of radio calls and I'll tell you a little bit about what we're going to see. Really foggy today because we don't have our normal trade wind patterns. Getting a lot of the smoke from the volcano over on the big island hanging around out here. But you can just make out there is another island up ahead of us. This is the island of Lanai. And at one time this island had the largest pineapple plantation in Hawaii on top of it. But pineapples are just not a big part of the Hawaiian economy like they used to be. Today this island is actually owned by the multi-billionaire Larry Ellison of Oracle. Bought this island about 2 years ago for $560 million. That doesn't mean you can't come over here though. He wants you to come over here, and Larry Ellison owns all the hotel rooms on the island. There are 5 ferries a day out of Lahaina town that'll take you over here. There's also an airport, and you can rent a Jeep on this island and drive all over the island on Jeep trails. The shipwreck is right up ahead of us there. This is kind of a landmark on Lanai, and really the only other way to see it would be either to rent a Jeep and drive over here on the Jeep trails, or maybe charter a boat. But helicopter is a pretty good way to see it. And most of the people who come to Hawaii won't see this, but it's kind of an interesting piece of history here on the island. It's been here, this shipwreck's been here for 70 years, since 1945. At the end of World War II, it was accidentally run ashore here. What's interesting is that during World War II, the United States is running low on steel, and we actually started building ships out of concrete during that time. Sounds funny, but concrete ships do float. And this one was called the Liberty. This was a cargo ship, and I always like to speculate what kind of cargo might still be on this ship. I'm always imagining like 10,000 cases of Spam or something that probably still edible. But if you have any ideas, let me know. I'm always coming up with new stuff that could be on the ship. But this is a pretty spooky looking shipwreck. If it hadn't been for the concrete, it would have rusted and fallen to pieces by now. They basically build the ship out of a steel frame and rebar, and then they pour the ship around it. And this concrete has held the ship together for 70 years. But it's a pretty solid ship still. I've been out here when there are 15-foot waves smashing into it, and it doesn't even budge. So we'll make a couple of turns here and let everybody take a look.